What is good, y'all? Chris here. So Ralph and I, we just saw the film The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So this film stars Henry Cavill, Eiza Gonzalez, Alan Ritchson, and an array of other cast members and characters. So this movie takes place during World War II. It is a mission created by the Prime Minister Winston Churchill, excuse me, and they have to go sink some boats, Nazi boats. I think overall this movie, I really enjoy the first, I want to say 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes, and then the last 20 minutes of the film. Personally, I think a good chunk of the middle of the film, not much happens. I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but there's just just the way it's advertised. It's a Guy Ritchie film. Love Guy Ritchie, but I think it was advertised a bit as like a Kingsman movie where it was nonstop action throughout, moments of conversations and story building back into action. There are a couple of set pieces in this movie that was absolutely badass. Alan Ritchson was my favorite character in this film, and his character is just a beast. Henry Cavill, the lead man. I thought Henry Cavill was fine. I am a big fan of Henry Cavill, but I think he didn't really what he was going for, and what they asked him to do was to be sort of a, how can I say it, a jerk. He's a prisoner that was sent to this mission, and I think he did what he was able to do. But I think they didn't really build upon his character enough. They relied on a couple of one-liners from him to build his character, but I don't think it really accomplished the goal that they were sending out. But as a lead, I thought he was great. I think even though it kind of contradicts what I just said, of course, Henry Cavill himself, the action that he did, and what was given to him, I think he was able to do the best with what he could. Eiza Gonzalez, she is the woman lead in this film. I think the last thing I had seen of hers was Godzilla versus Kong. That was in 2020. I think she for sure is a main focal point in this film. When they focus on her, I think her dramatic bits were really well driven. I think my only complaint is that the mixing on this movie was out of whack. It was an empty theater. It was just me and Ralph, but we had trouble. At least I did. I haven't talked to Ralph about it, of what lines or what the dialogue was in certain parts, especially for her scenes, because a lot of her scenes are very quiet and it's a very intimate scene. It's not on them, of course. That's not on Eiza Gonzalez or Henry Cavill or Alan Ritchson. I think it's just on the mixing. But overall, I think this movie, it's fun for what it's supposed to be. It does drag towards the middle. So if you're sitting in the theater and you're like, when is things gonna start popping off, just give it a bit. You'll know whenever it's gonna do that. Overall, I think the cast they were fine. They were fun. I don't have the cast in front of me, so I can't really point out exactly who was who. But I think overall, this is a film that if you're anticipating a Kingsman, you're going to have elements of that during the action set pieces. And then after that, it's sort of just chugging along. So Guy Ritchie, I'm sure he had certain goals, and he did reach them. I think just a good chunk of the middle of the movie kind of dragged. That's just for me personally. If you come out of the theater seeing it like I was totally wrong, and of course, by all means, art is subjective. But that's what I got out of it. So I'm not one for rating movies. I don't think I'll rate this movie because at the end of the day, I don't want my opinion to dictate others. Depending on whether they want to see it or not. I think you should go check this out in theaters if you're a big Henry Cavill fan. If you love Reacher, Alan Ritchson, that's my guy. So definitely, if you're a big fan of his, go check it out. So guys, that is pretty much all I have for this film. If you're still watching, I appreciate your support. So please like, share, and subscribe. As always, guys, I'm Chris. Catch y'all next time. Peace.